good morning to you, and thanks for joining us on the program this morning. My name is Nyamgul Agaji. We sincerely apologize that we're beginning a little bit late this morning, but we still are going to cover as much ground as possible. We'll still discuss our hot topics, which is Lagos to shut down, or the federal government to shut down Lagos Airport runway for repairs again, and also Ramadan shutting down of schools on wise decision, parents tell northern governors. That's what is happening in the north. 4 states have shut down their schools because of Ramadan. We wouldn't have time to discuss all top trending issues, but we had Lagos Assembly. Obasa has returned as Speaker and Miranda has resigned. We do not know what hold he has. That's a drama we would never understand. We also would have discussed Zulum grants 2-year tax waivers to flood-affected traders in Borno. I would have loved a situation where we would hear about rebuilding of Borno after that devastating flood. And we also had a turning topic about someone, a drug baron, who has been arrested after 17 years on the run, which means, like they say, the wheel of justice grinds slowly but surely. So, but that is how it is. Those are stories that caught our attention in the last 24 hours. But right now, we'll go straight to our Off the Press, which we will be looking at topics that made it, or headlines that made it to the front pages of some of our national dailies. And joining us to do that this morning is Mr. Shola Omolayo. It's nice to have you join us this morning. We would like to begin with the Tribune newspaper this morning. The first here is Lagos Assembly Speaker crisis. Nigerians await next move as Obasa returns, Miranda resigns. That same story is on other newspapers as well. We have on The Guardian, that same headline is there. Party power prevails as Miranda resigns. Obasa returns in Lagos Assembly shake-up. That is there on that newspaper. We also have how a Conde-led panel forced Miranda out, reinstating Obasa. That is on Punch. That is how they captioned it. I'd like you to comment generally on what is happening in the Lagos State House of Assembly, where a unanimous voice has now been quieted because of party supremacy, allegedly.
Well, I don't think there's anything the Lagosians should be worried about, because I believe that what we are just seeing is a party issue that has been fairly managed. And I believe that the powers that be within the political system of APC must have known what they have put in place. And the language of Miranda being forced out of her position, I think it's not fair enough for the honorable lady that was now the former speaker for some days now. She was not forced out. She was, I think, the purpose of bringing her into that position is to manage the affairs of the assembly rightly. And I never think she must have demanded for that position, and I want to believe it's her loyalty and her sincerity in the legislative house must have brought her into that office. So when she was sleeping, her statement made it so clear that she's leaving the stage. She's leaving the stage of the speaker for the sake of a peaceful running of government by the legislative house. So she was not forced out, she was honorably brought in. And I also believe that she honorably left the seat for peace to reign in the system. And for the speaker who has been re-elected, I want to believe that it's a good thing for the APC political house to manage their affairs better. But if you look at the faces of their sitting yesterday, you want to understand that it's not pleasant. And the honorable speaker in person of Obasa should be able now to manage the system well based on the reason why he was voted out of the position of that speakership. It's going to help him in the long run, but politically, I want to believe so many things have been done to caution his political ambition in the future if he's so smart in the game. God bless.
I do not understand. Maybe forced out is a very strong word. I heard the deputy speaker or the former speaker now saying that she once again will leave the scene, will do a personal sacrifice to leave the scene. And when Nigerians see, it's not a problem about Lagos, and it's not a problem of or the instrumentality within the APC to resolve issues. I think it's a Lagos thing, and maybe they're lucky, maybe they're not lucky. But these are people who, 34 of them, unanimously said that Obasa will not return. And this other lady does not just assume the position because she was deputy. She was elected into that position. Now, for the people to resolve, so to speak, this issue, for this same person to be removed, and the person they had said was not good enough for them has been re-elected by the same people that were crying foul, a lot of us are just watching and saying, what could have gone wrong? Is it that Obasa knows something that everybody else does not know that makes him the only right person at this time? We thought from rumors, which we should not have listened to, but we thought that they were going to select someone neutral if there was need for that kind of peace. But for him to return, it begs a lot of questions. So you just think it is because they could resolve their differences. That's why it happened the way it happened.
Yeah, short timing cannot give the detail of what you are looking into. First of all, understand that the situation on ground is not about the system, the governance of Lagos State. It is more of personal issue within the corridors of power in APC. That should be clear enough. And you discover that when you hear the rumor on the street and on an alert format, you will notice that it's about the selfish power of the speaker when some statement came up by saying is also better off some other person that have been governor in Lagos State. And they widen that statement for him even beyond what he could ever imagine. And political calculation made it so clear that it might be expiring. And when it comes to politics, many things are put to check. It's like a game of football or a draft. You know, your brother could be an Arsenal fan. Your brother who is going to play number 7 in Arsenal and does not make, is going to change the game. It doesn't care that you are family. If you are a Chelsea fan who plays number 4, he wants to bring the defenders down and make a score. It's just about getting the goal. So in the game of politics, you don't get the detail, not until when you. That's why I made it so clear that it's a party thing, it's a party affair. You know why the PDP in those days, when they go through things like this, they tell you it's a family affair. People don't understand the language. You make jest of them that they say it's a family thing. And you can see APC towing the same line that it's a family thing. And it's so great for them that you are running, they're simply running what I see like a party state, a single party stage, you know, not party to checkmate whatever they are saying. This is a parliament where I see that the system is not fully involved with the fanfare of democracy, where you even have a minority leader. All of these things, people are not looking into this detail. And I also want to believe that other states will use this as a check to also govern their state. Can you imagine Power Conde heading the formation of the peaceful process in making the assembly a viable place for government to run well? It's so detailed, more than you are seeing. And I think the person who is a chess game queen here is Miranda, and how she was placed there unorganized because she's from the central and Lagos State political position, and all over the world, not only in Lagos, all over the world. not only in Lagos, Nigeria as a whole, all over the world. Notice that the governor is from the center, Miranda is from the center, and Obasa, and the deputy, the deputy governor is from the north side of Lagos, and Obasa is from the west. And you can't put these two strong people together. Where is the leaders who want to manage it well and say, are you pushing the western part of Lagos State out of power? Because it's about 1, 2, 3, 4. The arrangement is always there. And I think the parliament made a mistake by putting Miranda. And it must also be part of their game to place a pawn. Peradventure, there could be a room of exchange. I think so many things is so deep about this thing that you can't, unless you're in the game. Fan knows how to shout. Football fan, they can clap their hand.
Okay.
They will tell you that guy is supposed to score that goal now.
All right.
That watching the telly.
Well, there's a catch there. You said that it's more than meets the eye, and I will totally agree to that. There's so much that we don't know. We're just hearing and seeing what is happening outside. It's like building a bridge. What goes into the water sometimes is even stronger than what is on the surface. Well, let's move to something else. Still on the Tribune newspaper. Reps extend deadline for submission of memoranda on state creation and also local government. What is your general take on state creation? Do we need more states or do we not?
You see, talking about state here, I don't really understand some things that we are seeing within the parliament. Do they really know what they want? Or do they really understand the power of governance with the kind of finance we are running with? We don't have a good budget that meets up the immediate need of even the 36 or 37 states in bringing in Abuja. And you are expanding the space for expenditure. I don't think we are taking it right. It's not too bad if we have, if you say you want to have another 40 state or 50 state, looking at the population of Nigeria. Nigeria, as of today, if we check it well, it is obvious now that we are within 180 million to 200 million, which is almost 2/3 of the whole of the United States of America, that is having about 50. I think America is having about 52 states as of today. I can't be too sure, but it is obvious it's more than 50 states. So, and the population of America is just about 350, 380. If you are looking at that yardstick, because at times we criticize government and the government is so wide, is so you compare it and put the note on ground on how the population is being run and what is the cost of managing this population. I'm not against it, but I think this is not even the best time to say it. I don't mind if you give my state, my area, if you choose to turn my local government to a state. I think there's no big deal. Maybe my environment would be the capital, so that we can have a governor that we can harass as an enlightenment. But I think that the local government autonomy is not even functional yet. We are talking of building up a state, creating an expansion, bringing bringing in a lot of costs that we cannot manage. I don't think it's fair at this time. That idea, I thought they have killed it. I don't know why they're sitting to it. It's just about self. Somebody just wants to become governor by all possible means, not because of the state of the nation. Too bad.
Okay.
Too bad.
Let's move to the Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper leads with the story from Rivers State. Confrontation breaks out between Fubara lawmakers. The writer here is saying House gives governor 48 hours to submit 2025 appropriation bill. Remember that Fubara had already passed this bill into law because he presented it to the 3-man or 4-man assembly in Rivers State. So it's been passed into law. Now, after the Supreme Court judgment, the assembly is asking him to re-present this bill to them, and they are going on recess for 6 weeks or so or something. So there's this problem in Rivers State. This is another chapter. This is another Act 1, Scene 3 or something that is happening in Rivers State. I'd like you to comment on the general breakdown of let me not say that. The crisis in Rivers State, simply put.
Yeah, I think it's not just about the crisis in Rivers State. All states are involved, including what you are seeing in Lagos State today, you know. And if you also understand the story of Kano State, where the governor first came in and he was demolishing areas, and people felt that he's going beyond his boundary, ought to have waited for the judgment. And the Rivers State case also is an INEC thing that I believe the INEC body or the parliament, which is the National Assembly, should sit down and revisit the electoral law. You know, we need to revisit the electoral law. The system of government should not be used to play a caricature of the people. The people suffers in all of this drama. You know, I will not blame the assembly that has just been given a soft landing to go back to the parliament. Neither will I want to blame the governor for decisions that he has taken in the past, but the law must prevail. There are things that are legally wrong, but morally right, you know, in some occasion. So in a situation now, I believe the system should think about the people. Can you see people celebrating when the court suspend the allocation of Rivers State, and the people that are coming to govern or manage the law of the state, we are celebrating. You know what it means, the language, when they stop the allocation of your state, some contract will be stopped and so many things will go wrong. I think we are just being childish in some of these states in the way we carry out the issue of government. It's just about self, just like telling us that you want to create more state. You understand it? Where it can be too necessary, it is nice, but what would you use? Where is the source of income going to come from to manage that? And so goes to Rivers State. You see the crisis these guys have been going through today. Like the governor has said, he's not afraid to leave. That if you say I should leave, they are not taking me out of it. That's the best he could say at this time, because he's seen the side of the people, the Nigerians, the people from Rivers State. They are thinking of themselves very bad. Very bad.
Okay.
So whatever happens at the people of Rivers State should just take their destiny in their hand and look for a better days to come. This one is not the political system they're having now. It's not too good. Look at it, 2 years is already gone, and instead they are left. The whole of Nigeria is left with just 1 year, because by August, I can assure anybody, the political game, the draw of political machination will start all over again.
I'm sure it has started already, but that's matter for another day. Let's move from the Rivers State Assembly to the National Assembly. On the Guardian newspaper, it is written, Natasha, CSO's planned protests seek Akpabio's resignation as monarch backs Senate president. That same story appeared on, not that same story, but something related to that appeared on the Tribune, which said South-South stands behind Senate president, that's according to King Dakolo, and rejects calls for Akpabio's resignation. This just takes our mind back to bad governance, protest against bad governance, and protest for bad governance, as it were. That's how I like to put it. Some people are saying what happened in the National Assembly to one of their own is not good enough. Others are saying whatever happened may be a lie and all that. They are in support of the Senate president. So just speak to what has been happening in the National Assembly regarding the Natasha's problem with the Senate president.
It is a pity that that part of Natasha's story and the accusation to the Senate president is unfortunate, that few days after that statement and listening to interview from social medias and some of the television stations, I want to believe that now it's beginning to seem as if it's a story that is dead on arrival. This is the situation we find ourselves. It is unfortunate that we find ourselves in this kind of environment, that we are not being honest and sincere to our women, our ladies, either they are right or wrong. I believe investigations ought to have been made, but somebody is saying because the case has gone to court, they don't want to veg into it. It makes me laugh because I think I could begin to spend a rat. That's my opinion, right? You heard of a story of somebody some few months ago in this African country, West African country, where a honorable member was having fun with the ladies of the state. You know the consequence almost immediately, you know. And if you go back to history, Clinton was accused of harassing, I think, our secretary then, I will not remember. You know that the story never went well. They took it up. If not for the youth of America then, Bill Clinton ought to have been impeached out of office. It's not even the parliament that saved Bill Clinton. It was the society, the young ones, the youth that said, okay, if it has happened, the family have apologized because the man in question, which was the president then, has confessed to the family, talked to the wife, and the wife took the fight and appealed to the state of America. So you see the way they talk about us is so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. It's an interwoven thing that you can't really talk about. And the parliament don't have enough women to stand up for this woman, to this lady in person of Natasha, to even give a fight, either the story is right or wrong. And my brother,
the Senate has just 4 women. Out of all the senators, it's just 4 women, Natasha, Ireti Kingigbe, and 2 others. And like you said, it doesn't seem as if there is that kind of support. But we'll still hear more about this story, I'm sure. But I was expecting that the Senate, just being a senator, should give you rights that cannot be taken away from you. I heard Mrs. Kingwe saying something about the fact that Senate may not even be gender-friendly, but worst of all is that the Senate is not opposition-friendly. And Natasha happens to be in the opposition. And it's unfortunate that we are finding ourselves in this kind of situation. But be that as it may, yeah.
That's why I told you that the situation is dead on arrival. I know fully well that she's from the opposition party, and she has had an issue with some political lord in person of Fayemi. You remember vividly in the case of, it was this same case of Ajaokuta that made her to challenge the former minister then in person of his former excellency of Ekiti State, Fayemi, concerning the issue of Ajaokuta ruling. So, you know, there are things you want to enter into. There are realms you want to enter into in governance. You must watch your back and be very careful on the way you handle it. She's a strong woman, or even turning that line. She's a very strong woman. And I believe that these are areas where our men should even take full responsibility in fighting along with her, not just toy. Because that bill that she's trying to pass is an heavy bill that if it succeeds, if she really truly succeeds, it will create more job for Nigerians.
Okay.
So sorry.
Well, let's just take this final one, whether it's something to rejoice or not to rejoice. This headline on all the newspapers as well, that NNPC has reduced fuel price to $8.60. Remember, Dangote a few days ago reduced the price of PMS to, was it $8.25 or so? And the reason was for Ramadan fast, to ease the burden on people. It was the same thing that happened during Christmas, that the price was reduced so that people can travel for Christmas celebrations and all that. So, but now NNPC has reduced to $8.60, and people are saying this is price war that is good enough for Nigerians. Do you really think this war, supposed war, is the one we're looking for, and it will lead to something greater for Nigerians to enjoy?
I'm sorry to use this language. You know, a good smoker used to have good language, lyrics. You know, all these lyrics you have on the street are from the camp of the Igbo smokers. They see the play. Don't worry. You know, this is a drama. I mean, and allegedly, I believe it's a drama. You know, something happened in Mina, and they gave out money, and we were saying, Nigerians were saying that now we will pay that money back. So they have to divert our attention. I want to believe they're just trying to divert our attention. I hope that they can sustain it. And it makes me laugh anyway. But the greedy part of it is that even when they are reducing their prices, Nigerians are so greedy that if the transporter that is the pilot of the economy, of the entrepreneur of this country, will not even want to reduce their price by 1 naira. That's the bitter side of it. So even if you bring it to 500 naira, well, all these national union road transport workers that controls our, not even the Minister of Transport, those ones they don't even have power to control the fare of our transportation system. They don't. No. I think the government should begin to work with the road transport workers, national union. They have become a team god in this country. In a day like this, when you have that kind of a change, that is reflects in the life of the people. Because if this thing goes back again to 900 naira, these same people will shout that the fuel has gone up, they will increase the price. And I think it's being time for us to begin to talk to ourselves. All these local government chairmen that you have all around you, what have they been doing? They're saying things like this. What have they been doing? Are they not the ones that ought to take responsibility of their local environment and pin it to the ears of people that this is what we have now and this is what we can do, and talk to some of this union in their locality so that they can talk to their cohort that, look, if we have this, this is what it should be done next. The price should go down so that the ordinary man on the street will feel it. Transport, if you reduce the cost of transport, it will spread around. Those who are bringing their ewedu, their efo and okra and ogbono and stockfish, they will feel it, and the marketers will have something to make.
Oh, well, it's unfortunate we lost his audio when it was wrapping up, but this is how much we can take. We do hope that the government, like he said, will wade into the matter and make sure that things go the way they should go. Because even right now, the government is spending so much money on CNG and helping people to convert their buses, their cars to CNG. Still, transportation is on the high side. Even the ones who have CNG now, if the bus fare from, let's say, Lagos to Ibadan is 5,000 naira. The ones on CNG will charge 5,000 naira. The ones on PMS will charge 5,000 naira. So what's the difference? Unless there is some kind of regulation, there's some kind of monitoring of these people, things may never change. And like he said, drivers are also not only drivers of the buses or the cars, but they're also the drivers of the economy, because a lot of things depend on them. Well, we would like to thank you, if you can hear us, Mr. Shola Omolayo, for your time this morning. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll be looking at our first hot topic, and we promise this to be very interesting. We hope that you'll stay and hear us talk about FAAN FAN closes Lagos Airport runway for rehabilitation again. Stay with us.